Lil Kim has long been hailed as the queen of rap, and her fierce persona has earned her the nickname Queen Bee. Newsweek even dubbed her the First Lady of Rap, with editor Allison Samuels declaring in 2000 that she had shattered the glass ceiling in the male-dominated world of hip-hop, becoming one of America's most sassy and engaging icons. Days magazine went as far as to say she was the first prominent female rapper to turn the tables on the way women were treated in the industry. NME's Jordan Bassett noted that she outfilthed the male rappers at every turn, proving that she could hold her own and then some. BBC News recognized her groundbreaking debut album, Hardcore, as the most successful first album by a female hip-hop artist at the time, as she boldly staked her claim in the world of edginess and hardcore rap territory that was usually reserved for the boys. In 2000, Los Angeles Times writer Isaac Guzman praised her for paving the way for a new wave of female rappers, positioning her as the raunchiest, hardest, sexiest, and most glamorous woman in all of hip-hop. It was clear that Kim was setting the standard, inspiring a legion of new female artists who tried to emulate her style and swagger. But it wasn't just her lyrics that turned heads. Lil Kim's fearless approach to fashion has made her a trendsetter in the industry. She has been celebrated as a fashion icon by numerous outlets, with Vogue Andre Leon Talley even dubbing her the Black Madonna. High-profile designers like Marc Jacobs, Versace, and Giorgio Armani have all credited Kim as a major source of inspiration in their work. One of her most iconic fashion moments came from her collaboration with nail artist Bernadette Thompson, known for her extravagant money nails. Harper's Bazaar called it a defining moment in the history of hip-hop and beauty, paving the way for intricate nail art to gain acceptance in mainstream fashion. In fact, a replica of her legendary money nails has been showcased at the Museum of Modern Art, sitting alongside iconic fashion pieces like the Wonder Bra and classic red lipstick. Some artists who have named Kim as influence include Rihanna, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Tiana Taylor, Doja Cat, Stefflon Don, Nicki Minaj, Saweetie, Miley Cyrus, Lola Brooke, Jhené Aiko, City Girls, Lotto, and actress Taraji P. Henson said that Lil Kim inspired her portrayal of Empire character Cookie Lion. With all of these accomplishments, you would think that Lil Kim is someone that is well respected by the media and her peers. But Lil Kim is probably one of the most disrespected women in the industry as of late, from her beef with Nicki Minaj and the Barbs not letting their foot off her neck, to the constant criticism for her changing looks and plastic surgeries, and above all, people constantly misunderstanding her perspective and making light of her trauma. This video is all about taking a deep, intimate look inside the life of Kimberly Jones, the person, a gentle soul who felt she had to harden herself to survive, not just the industry but life, a loyal friend who often found herself betrayed by those she would have given her life for, and a woman who definitely gave undeserving people more chances to destroy her than she should have. Who is Kimberly Jones? How did she become the notorious K.I.M.? We must first start from the beginning, which is her childhood. But first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Crane Allude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars through history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so. And if you're already subscribed, please turn on your notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Let's talk about her childhood, because for you to understand Lil Kim, you have to understand her childhood, because there will be a lot of criticisms for her, especially as we get towards the end of the video and show you how she was received in that time. But we got to know where this persona was even from. And Lil Kim did say that her character is a persona, that it is a character that she created for the industry. It's not really herself.
Lil Kim is a character that everyone knows me for my career, and Kimberly Jones is a little bit more closed, and I think my fans really can see both sides. You know, that's the name that I use to make my money and my livelihood, but at the same time, Lil Kim is a big part of Kimberly Jones, which is a cool thing, you know. But you know, they don't know everything about Kimberly Jones.
My whole thing, what I do is an image. One day you may catch me in a purple wig, you may catch me in a green wig. That's what I do. I'm a person who may get bored with my look sometimes. I love what God gave me, but sometimes I want to dress it up.
Is that raunchy demeanor? Is that something that she really wanted to do, or was it really Biggie pushing her to be overly sensualized and, you know, have that demeanor of herself out there? Did that come from the men that she was around and low self-esteem and the way she thought. Let's see. Let's get to the nook and crook of it. By the way, I'm trying not to play any music. It's a lot of her music for YouTube. Listen, like Lil Kim's music is out there, okay? It is bold. Do you think the Sexy Red's, a lot of people giving Sexy Red, and you can thank Lil Kim for these type of rappers, okay? Because she started the wave of talking like that. Before her, you had like the Queen Latifahs, which I did a video for also, like the MC Lights, Salt and Pepper, where they, you know, they carried themselves a little bit differently, and Kim came out like boom, bang, and really brought sex into rap for women. But in her childhood, Kimberly Denise Jones was born on July 11th, 1974, in the gritty streets of Bedford-Stuy, Brooklyn. As the youngest child in her family, she had one older brother, Christopher, and a complicated family background. Her parents, Linwood Jones and Ruby Mae, were from Trinidad, but their marriage unraveled when Kim was just 9 years old. Kim's mother decided to finally part ways with her over-the-top husband, and Kim chose to go with her mother. She went from happy little girl with stability and a two-parent home to now having to sleep in the car with her mother when they had no place to go. The state took notice and did not think that Kim's mother was fit enough to raise or provide for her daughter. By the time she hit her teenage years, her mother handed over full custody to her father, a Marine who was often away on duty. This left Kim and her brother often in the care of their strict aunt, and with no sisters or close female cousins around, Kim learned to navigate a world dominated by her brother and male cousins. But with her fiery spirit, she wasn't about to be overshadowed.
From the day she was born, she had that personality, strong personality.
But she was an excellent baby. She never fussed or complained. Just really a happy baby. Kim's father, he was a bus driver for the New York City Transit Authority. He was very strict.
He was in the Marine Corps.
This is my rules, you do this.
You're not supposed to wear your shoes that way.
In the house, everything was very military type. You had to be right on point with everything.
That's how he was brought up.
Kim was always like a tough girl, but not tomboyish, very feminine.
Things between Kim's father and I started to deteriorate, I guess I could say. I was going to take both of my children, but my son, he was like hysterical because he did not want to go. She was always so protective of me. She was like, let's go, Mom. I'm ready.
Kim was about 9 years old when she moved into Russia.
It was a financial struggle. Kim and I, eventually started living out the trunk of my car, It's not something that I'm very proud of.
Kim was really unhappy because she wanted to have a family like everybody else.
The decision was made by the courts. They felt it was better for the two children to be together with their father.
Kim was attending Sarah J. Hill High School.
When we were in high school, especially our freshman years, we were trying to be fashion plates.
She would not want to go anywhere not looking nice.
Every day for her was like a fashion show. Her father would give her money every week, and we would go shopping. Coats, the boots, the jewelry, different color wigs.
We didn't even know what Gucci was, and Kim had it.
This made other young ladies jealous of her.
She attended Queen of All Saints Elementary and spent a brief stint at Brooklyn College Academy. But everything changed when she turned 14. That's when the rebellious streak kicked in, and she ditched home life for the unforgiving streets of Brooklyn. Though her father was home more, he was just too strict for Kim, and they would often get into crazy physical fights. The police would always come to the residence for disturbances and knew Kim and her father by name. In their last physical fight, Kim was so enraged that she tried to stab her father. The police came, of course, and Kim decided to leave the house for a week. When her father got remarried, of course the new wife was not having that, and said Kim could not live with them in their new home because of the disrespectful behavior and constant clashing. Kim was hurt, but decided she would make it on her own. Living on the edge, she turned to freestyle rapping, drawing inspiration from fierce female icons like the Lady of Rage and MC Light. Alongside her rap dreams, Kim started selling substances for her boyfriends and took on a series of odd jobs to survive, so she was in them streets. In her tumultuous teenage years, she fell for Sean Powell, a romance that sparked at the Empire roller skating rink. But just as things heated up, Powell was arrested for robbery, facing an 8.5-year prison sentence. This didn't stop Kim. She remained fiercely loyal, visiting him regularly. They even got engaged while he was locked up, but when she moved out of her dad's house and started being in the streets to survive, she didn't have the time or the luxury to entertain a man stuck in jail who couldn't do much to help her situation. I mean, he couldn't even afford the ring he proposed to her with. His mother had to buy that ring for him. But then came the game changer. She crossed paths with Christopher Wallace, better known as the Notorious BIG. Drawn to the allure of the music scene, Kim decided to call off her engagement to Powell and pour her heart into her rap career.
I'll never forget the dress she had on. She had like a plaid dress with some Gucci boots. I was like, yo, what's up, shorty? Well, I'm gonna give you my number so you can call me. So she was like, all right. And then like a couple of months after that, I got myself arrested. I wound up doing 8.5 years. She came up, we sat down, we got to hold hands, kiss, talk. I'm really liking this girl, Kim. I'm thinking about proposing to her. But I have one problem. I need a ring. My mother gave me the ring. And, I'm looking at her hand trying to, build my energy up.
And she was crying, and she made me cry.
Next thing you know, we was engaged.
Kim and her father, they didn't have the best relationship as we got older.
He became overprotective.
My father was a good man, but just wasn't a good parent. I think the military kind of took away his parenting skills.
I felt his rules were just ridiculous, not being able to go to parties or just hang out like teenagers do.
I would call Kim's house, and I could hear them arguing, and she'd be like, Sean, call me back.
One occasion, it got serious. It was a physical fight that broke out.
She just started going crazy, picking up forks, knives, going to the house, screaming and hollering.
Kim was about to stab her father. When her father remarried, they decided to buy a house in Jersey.
But they told Kim she couldn't come.
Did your dad, why did he come down on you? Because he thought...
Well, he was very strict anyway because he was in the Air Force.
Did he hit you?
Yeah. I mean, we fought.
Yeah.
We fought. I'm saying, hit that boom. He was in the Army. He's in all the Navy, Captain One, and at the Air Force. So he's
a disciplinarian.
He's a disciplinarian to the 15th power. Everything was done at 100 hours.
She dropped out of Sarah J. High School.
She had started going to different houses, staying with friends for a while.
She ran with a crowd that was snatching their rings and taking chains.
Drug dealers you date the drug dealers, and you had to sleep with them, you had to transport for them if you wanted money. Kim expressed to me how she felt about Sean.
I ain't see Kim for a couple of months. I had got frustrated, and I wrote a letter that was out of this world.
Kim was out here and Sean was incarcerated. Kim couldn't really, dedicate herself to his situation because she had her own to deal with.
She wrote me back and she was cursing me out for not being understanding.
In 1993, she made the bold move to drop out of high school, and by 1994, she was invited to join Junior Mafia by none other than Biggie himself. The stage was set for Kim to rise as a force to be reckoned with in the hip-hop world, leaving her turbulent past behind in a cloud of ambition and defiance. When Lil Kim burst onto the scene as the lone woman in Junior Mafia, she was ready to set the hip-hop world ablaze. The group's debut album, Conspiracy, dropped in 1995 and quickly went gold, selling a staggering 500,000 copies globally. Kim wasn't satisfied with being part of a crew. She was destined for solo stardom. In 1996, she signed with Atlantic Records, launching her solo career with the explosive album Hardcore. This album shattered records, marking the highest debut for a female rapper on the Billboard charts and selling over 6 million copies. It was notorious for its audacious mix of hip-hop and explicit themes, beginning with a jaw-dropping intro that featured a fan indulging himself while watching Kim on screen in a steamy adult film. As a pioneer of explicit content and rap music, Kim found herself at the center of a heated debate about the impact of her lyrics, imagery, and lifestyle on the Black community and young girls. While she captivated audiences with her bold persona and unapologetic sexuality, critics argued that her music glamorized a dangerous narrative that could have lasting negative effects. Lil Kim's debut album, Hardcore, released in 1996, was a groundbreaking project that showcased her raw talent and fierce attitude. However, it was also filled with explicit lyrics that pushed boundaries and challenged societal norms. Songs like Crush on You and Not Tonight were catchy and infectious, but they also contained themes of sensual prowess and objectification that drew sharp criticism. As she rapped about her sensual exploits and flaunted her body, many worried that Kim was reinforcing harmful stereotypes about women, particularly Black women, in a genre already notorious for its objectification. Critics were quick to voice their concerns, arguing that Kim's music contribution to a culture that devalued women and promoted hypersensuality. Prominent figures with the Black community expressed alarm over the message being sent to young girls, especially Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams was not playing with Kim at all. Many believe that Kim's glamorization of explicit content could lead to dangerous behavior and misguided perceptions of self-worth among impressionable listeners. They pointed to a troubling trend in media that depicted women as mere objects of desire rather than multifaceted individuals with their own aspirations and identities.
When people talk about role model, is that a term that you are comfortable with?
Well, I say make sure that you give your child parental advisory. If you don't want your child listening to the music, then it's up to you as a parent to make sure that the child doesn't listen to it.
Hot 97 personality Wendy Williams has a lot to say when it comes to Lil Kim. She often speaks to kids about the hip-hop world, like here at Hubbard Middle School in Plainfield, New Jersey.
There is a pecking order and a big price to pay for getting down the way some of these females are getting down.
Negative influences on kids, especially young girls, concerned Williams. The DJ tells students the industry is not always as prosperous as it seems.
You can't be a trick all of your life.
Then why? Open up your legs and show us in a negative light. Stand up and let your light so shine. You're beautiful. Your message should be a message that is Beautiful.
Music like what we just heard from Lil Kim is hurting the morality of our nation. Do you think it goes that far, really?
We have a whole generation of children that are being wiped out from an AIDS epidemic. Why can't you sing music? You just can't blame. No, I'm not saying music, honey. I'm not saying just music.
At least during certain times of the day, lyrics like are in Lil Kim's hardcore album, in my opinion, it would be against the law to air that.
There are people who can tell you her songs and don't know their multiplication tables. Our priorities are in the wrong place. And I bet you...
She makes people seem like that's all we're about. You know, that's all women is about, showing our body or whatever. The post is vulgar, and I think it misrepresents Black women. I don't like it.
Using articles about what you like to do orally and what you like to receive and all that. I mean, stuff like that's your personal business. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you want to air that out there. A lot of people are reading that and seeing that on TV.
There's a demand for drugs. Just because there's a demand, that does not make it right. Understand that. Just because there's a demand, that does not make it right.
And I think sex does sell, but it may not sell forever. You're going to grow up.
We're going to say goodbye, everybody. Keep watching our show.
Lil Kim's image was another focal point of the backlash, with her provocative fashion choices often featuring revealing outfits, heavy makeup, and bold hairstyles. She became a symbol of liberation for some, but a cautionary tale for others. Critics argued that by presenting herself in such a hyper-sexualized manner, she was contributing to a culture that prioritized appearance over substance. This perception was compounded by the reality that many young girls looked up to her as a role model, and the concern was that they might emulate her lifestyle without understanding the complexities and challenges that came with it. And Wendy Williams was trying to tell them, like, hey, there's a lot that come with this. And in the end, we do see that Lil Kim herself, a lot did come with the lifestyle that she was promoting even for her. So it doesn't come without any consequences, right? In response to the backlash, Lil Kim was defiant. She embraced her and often responded to critics by asserting that she was simply expressing herself and reclaiming her narrative as a woman in a male-dominated industry. I'm not here to cater to anyone's sensibilities, she proclaimed in various interviews. I'm here to be me. This fierce attitude resonated with many fans who saw her as a trailblazer, mostly kids, someone who was not afraid to challenge the status quo. And all the colorful wigs, colorful makeup, it all attracted kids, really, because adult audiences was not listening to them. And we talked about this previously in previous videos, how the marketing geniuses of Hollywood have discovered that kids love colors. They love a lot of simulation. So you'll see a lot of people that push out certain content. They'll wear a lot of colorful, they'll use, like even Nicki Minaj and Troll's video with that rapper, oh my goodness, his name is not coming to me now, but she even faced a lot of backlash because Trolls is known as a kid's song. Like when parents were showing that when the kids look up Trolls, that video would pop up and this is what the kids would be exposed to. And Lady Gaga, all of those people, they knew how to dress to cater to kids. Like when we were kids was when we listened to Britney Spears. There's not really grown adult people when Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga, all these people came out that were listening to them. It's always kids that consume music more than the adults, these type of music, right? Adults would consume more of classical. Like as an adult now, your taste in music might have changed drastically. Comment below. Where you might have been listening to Backstreet Boys nonstop, now what are you listening to more? You might be more listening to a little bit more grown folks music, you know, a little bit more soulful jazz, or you know, whatever your taste change in music. So this was the argument that was being played, and it was like everything from her fashion. This is what people even then in the 90s were screaming about. There was like, even her fashion is catered to kids. All the colorful wigs, colorful makeup, crazy attire, and this and that. It's all catered to kids listening to lyrics that they don't understand, because adult women at the time weren't really listening. And by kids, they're talking about like 16, 17, 18 crowd, you know, young adult crowd, the young adult crowd, which was Kim's age group. So in a sense, hey, she was making music for her age group, but then you have younger kids that was sneak listening to it too. Comment below your thoughts on that. Where do you stand on that? Y'all already know where I'm going to stand on it, so I'm not even going to give my comments, but I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts. Lil Kim association with explicit content began to affect how she was perceived, not just as an artist, but as a person. Her legal troubles, including a conviction for perjury in 2005 related to a shooting incident, further complicated her public image. Critics seized upon these incidences as evidence of chaotic lifestyle she had glamorized in her music, using them to argue that her art was not just entertainment, but a dangerous influence on the youth. Like when she started getting arrested, there was mugshots out there and all this stuff. There was like, okay, so this is beyond just you rapping about that. This is your lifestyle. And if you look right now, like you got Lil Durk and a lot of rap artists or whatever that is in jail for what they're rapping about, then you go, hey, this is beyond entertainment. These people actually are getting arrested for these crimes. You have a lot of rappers. You got even the death of Tupac, the death of Biggie. It was like, oh, so this wasn't just entertainment. So a lot of parents and older folks during that time was trying to scream that to the youth, that this is not just entertainment. Look at the results of their lifestyle. Look at the fruits on their tree. They're actually dying behind this. People going to jail. Kim faced some jail time for beef over Foxy Brown. So it wasn't just entertainment. The public's response was mixed. While many fans continued to flock to her music and appreciate her unapologetic style, others began to see her as a cautionary tale, and she started to kind of lose steam just a little bit. The discussion around her legacy sparked broader conversations about the responsibility of artists in the hip-hop community and the impact of explicit music on the Black community specifically, because this is the target audience. Some argued that while artistic expression should be free and unrestrained, artists like Lil Kim had a duty to consider the messages they were promoting and the potential consequences of their ruins. And another topic in researching this that I saw that was being discussed was like, that's a fair point. Or maybe you guys can educate me in the comments, because I haven't stumbled upon anyone yet for real. But you know, I do. This channel is for documentaries on all types of people in all walks of life, whether hip hop, science, political, movies, authors, whatever. I do videos on everyone, right? But what was being argued was that only in the Black community will you ever see artists like a Kim, Lil Kim, or a Sexy Red, right? You will never see that in like a white community and entertainment. Someone boldly just, you will never see a singer just talking like that, talking about swallowing stuff and all of that. You just won't see that in a white community. And honestly, if there is, comment below. Maybe I'm not familiar. I'm not talking about a white rapper trying to pretend to be Black. I'm not talking about that, like them impersonating the rap culture. But you won't see it within like the Asian community, the white community, the Jewish community. There's limits, you know, they're subtle with it. They'll talk about these subjects, but they're subtle with it. Like they'll talk about showers raining on you when you know what that insinuates, but they won't boldly say that. But only in America is it so bold, in your face, down to them wearing nothing in their videos. So that was kind of interesting, because really I haven't seen women that aren't Black, and because let's say dancehall or Caribbean culture, they do that. Like, you know, we have carnival and we're hypersexualized or whatever, but you won't see that within other colors groups, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm wording that correctly, but Black women globally, you might see that this is the portrayal, and only us, we entertain these type of artists. But within other communities where they cherish or respect their women or elevate them and uplift them, you won't see that. And then you'll have Black women being the number one person defending this. And if you try to speak out on it, who cares about respectability politics? But it continues to, we have to care because it affects everybody, right? So I'm curious to see your thoughts. I know that's going to be a hot topic, but that portion of this video is really a good discussion. I feel like, you know, in every video I try to find a lesson in the documentaries or try to have some good dialogue with it. That would be good dialogue. I'm curious to see you guys' opinions. And again, if I have any other people from any groups watching that's like, yeah, we have our own version of Lil Kim or Sexy Red or whatever, please comment below, because maybe I'm just not that, you know, hip to it. However, the backlash she received for her debut album was not the only thing Kim had to deal with. The glamour came with its share of drama. While recording her debut, Kim discovered she was pregnant with Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie. She, you know, was pregnant for him. She kept it under wraps until 1999, revealing during an interview with the source that she chose to terminate the pregnancy. I knew the kind of relationship Biggie and I had, she said. Having a child just wasn't the cards for us. But the dark side of her romance with Biggie was hard to ignore. In a shocking 2010 interview with Ed Lover on Power 105, Kim opened up about the abuse she suffered at his hands, detailing a harrowing incident where he choked her into unconsciousness. By 2017, she didn't hold back, confessing that their relationship was very violent, especially after Jermaine Dupri revealed that he had witnessed Biggie brandishing, like pulling a pew-pew to her head. You know what I mean? Despite the turmoil, Kim was heartbroken by Wallace's untimely death, admitting she loved him until her last breath.
I was in Brooklyn with Big, and Big saw Kim outside.
Call Big Mama over here.
And he says to me, that's my next I said, what do you mean? That's my rapper. The world's gonna love her. Tell me they ain't gonna love her.
Whenever I saw Biggie, I saw Kim.
Biggie was everything to her. He was her lover. He was her best friend.
The tension between them came when he got married.
Faith Evans and Biggie was getting a deal around the same time, and I believe that that's how they met. 3 weeks later, they were married. Kim was not happy.
At the hotel, he'd knock her out and drag her through the lobby of the hotel. You know, she started wearing those big glasses. And she'll have like a knot on the eye. The mental, the physical, the emotional, do a lot with the Notorious one.
Biggie pulled a Kim tried to make the best of it.
She would not give up on this guy.
When you're in love, it's hard to let it go. In the middle of recording Hardcore, and I'm like, what, are you sick? She's like, no, not exactly. I'm like, what, are you pregnant? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. You already knew, who it was. She told me who it was. It was Biggie.
She told Biggie, and his first reaction was, not right now. It's not good for the business. It wasn't like he was encouraging her to keep it.
Next time I got a call from her, she's like, okay, I'm gonna gave her some money, and next time I know, it was done. I can tell that a part of Kim died that day. Like a day later, she was in the studio recording. Think how crazy that is.
There was a lot of drama. I can tell you.
He would always have a lot of women. He just didn't know what it was about the other girls that he didn't see in her.
There was times that she felt like death was her only way out.
But through it all, Kim stayed by his side.
No matter what they went through, she always felt like she was obligated to him because Biggie put Kim where she was at.
Once again, the rapper Notorious B.I.G. dead of gun wounds.
To have that person who gave you all your start in life and to lose that person, it was devastating.
Her head wasn't even, her head wasn't right. When Big passed, it was like she knew that she was gonna have to grow up overnight.
Ladies' Night was like one of the first things that she did after Biggie died.
She had to make a decision. Am I going to be a hip-hop memory, or am I going to continue in Biggie's legacy?
After establishing herself, Kim released a Notorious K.I.M. in 2000 and La Bella Mafia in 2003, both of which went on to sell over 1 million copies each. In 1997, her track was featured on the soundtrack for the film Nothing to Lose, starring heavyweights like Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence. The song, a remix of Not Tonight, Ladies' Night, featured powerhouses like The Brat, Left Eye, Angie Martinez, and Missy Elliott. It was a massive hit, earning a Grammy nomination and platinum certification. But Kim wasn't just a musician. She was making her mark in Hollywood too. She made her acting debut in 1997, and from 1998 to 2000, she graced a runway in the pages of fashion magazines, working with iconic brands like Versace, Baby Phat, Iceberg, and Candies. Kim was not just breaking barriers, she was rewriting the rules of the game. And in 1998, Lil Kim was ready to take the fashion world by storm when she signed with Wilhelmina Models. That same year, she snagged a major gig as the face of Candies, strutting alongside Brandy in a splashy ad campaign. Kim made history as the first and only rapper to represent the brand, breaking barriers and turning heads in the process. Kim made it popular for the rap girls to be glamorous and fashion icons. Every new girl you see now has been copying her blueprint on how to do this successfully. And for Kim, it was natural and organic. The fashion community loved her and accepted her with open arms because she naturally had her own style and was unique in an industry where everyone was basically looking the same.
She's basically like the it girl.
Lil Kim is so much bigger than her music. She's become this iconic figure.
She is really royalty. I mean, there's a reason she's known as the Queen Bee.
Lil Kim has become like a larger-than-life personality.
Lil Kim is selling an image.
It's almost like she's walking down a runway every day of her life. There's like 15 people behind the scenes enabling Kim to come out and make it all look crazy.
Every inch of Lil Kim's body is coiffed to perfection by her highly trained, highly sought after, and highly prized glam squad. For her hair, it's stylist to the stars, Dion Alexander.
Kim has a wig not for every day, but for like every hour of the day.
Who matches wigs and weaves to flawlessly fit Kim's moods. Made from 100% human hair, just one wig can cost Kim $2,000. Kim's people are always on call. For her nails, it's famed manicurist Bernadette Thompson.
My rate is between $3,000 and $5,000 a day.
Especially her own personal body and soul guru.
I'm like the secret weapon.
Owen's house calls cost Kim $1,000 a pop. Owen Brown gives Kim top secret treatments to ensure her aura is always perfectly tuned. $6,000 for a night on the town is typical in the life of Lil Kim. And a good night in a Queen Bee's world doesn't come cheap.
15 bottles of Cristal and everything, probably about close to $6,000.
She comes with the entourage, 20 plus. Cristal, nothing but the best for Lil Kim.
Lil Kim's house in New Jersey is a little different.
Lil Kim has so much clothing that she has to have a room for each individual design house.
She has a fur room and others named after top fashion designers, like the Versace room and the Chanel room.
Fashion is a hobby that I put some of my money into and time.
That's an understatement.
You would never see a Versace gown in the Chanel room, or you never see a Chanel bag in the Versace room.
Like spending $15,000 in less than 2 hours at Christian Dior in New York in 2001. And 40 grand on clothing and Barbie dolls during a one-day shopping spree in Japan in 2002. Kim owns piles of shoes, mountains of shoes. Try over 2,500 pairs.
She spends about $20,000 to $30,000 a month on her wardrobe.
I have clothes in my garage and in my basement. Racks and racks and racks.
And she's not shopping at Target.
Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, Chanel, Roberto Cavalli.
Gucci. I've had Betsy Johnson, Karl Lagerfeld, and other designers come up to me and say, my whole fall collection was designed after you.
Yes, even her dogs, Mama, Diamond, and Princess, are decked out in Dior.
They have Gucci raincoats, Louis Vuitton collars.
And these matching mink coats, $6,000 each. Kim's dogs don these mink and diamond dog collars at $2,000 a piece.
I love diamonds.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
This is over $5 million worth of Harry Winston's jewelry. They've been great to me.
By 2000, she was on fire, sealing another deal with the trendy fashion house Iceberg and teaming up with MAC Cosmetics to promote their Viva Glam line of lipsticks and glosses alongside the legendary Mary J. Blige. Their collaboration brought a bold plum brown lipstick to life, and the MAC Viva Glam 3 campaign became a sensation, raking in a jaw-dropping $4 million in just 1 year. Thanks to the campaign's wild success, Kim and Mary signed on for a second year, solidifying their reign in the beauty industry. That same August, she strutted her stuff for baby fat, proving she was a fashion force to be reckoned with. In 2004, she took things up a notch by launching her own line of designer watches, Royalty by Lil Kim, in collaboration with renowned jeweler Jacob Arobo. But she didn't stop there. She also unveiled her first clothing line, Hollyhood, adding more flair to her already colorful career. Kim even lent her voice for the popular video game Def Jam Fight for New York, showcasing her versatility as an entertainer. In 2005, she teamed up with high-end brand Petit Piton to create a shoe line that was just as fierce as her persona. That year, she also made a splash in the comic world, appearing as a character in the limited edition comic book The Heist, a collaboration between Marvel and Atlantic Records. There, she and her cousin Catrice Jones opened a salon called C'est Soi, a beauty salon in Charlotte, North Carolina, marking a new chapter in her entrepreneur journey. In the same month, she unveiled her second clothing line, the 24/7 Goddess Collection, during Charlotte's Fashion Week, showcasing her ever-evolving style. By November 2012, Kim was back in the spotlight, endorsing Ciroc vodka and introducing her signature cocktail, the Queen Bee. She proudly declared herself the first lady of the brand, cementing her status as a queen in both the music and business worlds. Lil Kim was truly living her best life, and she wasn't holding anything back. But with all the good, there were, of course, some scandals. She also wasn't lucky in love. In 2002, she started a whirlwind romance with Damian World Hardy, but their love story took a dark turn. After their split in 2003, Kim came forward with shocking claims of physical, violence, revealing that she underwent multiple nose jobs due to the punches she had taken during their time together, and he was a criminal that's been arrested for murder, so I believe everything that she said.
On a sadder note, which was something that I read about and I had no idea about your life, was when you talked about being in relationship.
Yeah, it was hard. And I shared that story because people think, once celebrities, especially females, get into the industry, they feel like we're so different. But I just wanted females to know that I went through the same thing while I was some people's role models and Lil Kim. And I had broken nose, black eyes, all that stuff.
Well, you know what? When I was younger, I've had a lot of relationships where men used to tell me, I wasn't all that and I was ugly and how without them I would never be nothing. Well, now that I'm older, I'm taking all of that and I'm flipping it. I'm like, look, I am somebody and I don't need you to do this. I'm doing it myself, and now it's time to build up my self-esteem.
I've had broken noses, I've had blood clots in my back, and I was losing myself.
Have you ever been back after being hit?
No, after the very intense one, no. But in the beginning, I did go back. I learned that if it's continuous, you just can't stay there. I think sometimes women get stuck on thinking we could change a man or thinking, he's sick and we can help him, and that wasn't the case.
And you talked about how, I guess you had to fix your nose too after one point, right?
I had fixed it already, and then after that, it was broke again.
So you had to go again. So that was an unplanned surgery.
Yeah, it was. That's why I go to the side.
Does it bother you when people, talk about it, or when people have jokes about it or comments about it? Because I see it all, you see it all the time or hear it, and I'm sure you hear it.
No, it don't bother me. It don't bother me because I told you I'm beautiful. I love myself. There's certain things that I think I was obsessive with. In which I always have time to fix or whatever. But but the thing of it is that people think I did it because I had low self-esteem, but that wasn't the case. I think I did it because I was a little too vain, at the time. So
trying to be perfect.
Trying to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. That's true.
Lil Kim has been making headlines because of her dramatic new look. Those things caused me to have a closer relationship with God. He's never left me, even during the bad times, you know. That's my best friend.
In her quest for love, Kim briefly hooked up with record producer Scott Storch in 2004 after he gave her a ride to her hotel. Their fling fizzled out in just 2 months, but Storch later confessed in 2013 that he would have put a ring on Kim if things had panned out differently. The dating drama didn't stop there. In 2007, she was briefly involved with Ray J, of all people, adding another chapter to her scandalous love life. And listen, I didn't know she dated Ray J. Maybe I need to do a video on Ray J, because how did he keep pulling these legends? He dated Whitney Houston, which I did a video for already, and that I was shocked with. He dated Kim K, Lil Kim, Tila Tequila, I did a video for her also, Keisha Cole, and allegedly Jackie Harry. That one, I mean, and Pamela Anderson, which I got a video coming up next for her, and so many more. Like, sheesh, can somebody explain to me in the comments how? Like, Ray J is handsome, so I'm not gonna play him, but he's such a comedian to me and so young. Like, Ray J is so funny. He doesn't have a type at all. He will date them all, young, old, big, skinny, white, or black. He will date them all, okay? I definitely did not know him and Kim had a moment, so that's pretty interesting. And I feel like it would be too soon to do a video on Ray J. Do I want to do a video on Ray J? Because I just feel like there's just gonna be a lot more coming out on Ray J, because there's always something coming out on Ray J. So I like to wait for whoever I'm doing the videos on to be a little bit more seasoned in their careers, you know. I just feel like Ray J is a gift that keep on giving, okay? But the real bombshell came on March 17, 2005, when Lil Kim was convicted on 3 counts of conspiracy and 1 count of perjury for lying to a federal grand jury about her involvement in a 2001 shooting outside Hot 97 Studios in Manhattan. During the trial of her co-manager Damian D. Rock Butler and her bodyguard Sweet Gutta Jackson, Kim insisted she had no idea they were there, when video footage clearly showed them together at the scene. Butler and Jackson eventually pleaded guilty to the charges, with Jackson facing a hefty 12 years in federal prison for firing off at least 20 rounds during the incident. In July 2005, Kim was sentenced to 1 year in prison, followed by 30 days of home detention and 3 years of probation. And this was all due to the Foxy Brown case, which we're going to talk about. She served her time at the Federal Detention Center in Philadelphia and was released on July 3rd, 2006, just in time for the summer. Fast forward to June 9th, 2014, when she welcomed her daughter Royal Reign into the world. Lil Kim's love life took another turn with Jeremy Neal, better known as Mr. Papers, who is Royal's father. Their relationship spanned from 2012 to 2014 and then rekindled from 2020, part of 2021. Despite never getting legally married, Neal referred to her as his wife, adding a layer of complexity to their on-again, off-again romance. Their breakup wasn't pretty. Kim accused him of DV also, while he responded with the diss tracks and sad freestyles lamenting their tumultuous relationship and his limited access to their daughter. He was a clout chaser. He also did the corny act of allegedly dating Kim's sworn enemy, Foxy Brown, which I think they both were corny for this, which we will get into this later. And to get under Kim's skin, he thirsted publicly after Nicki Minaj also. Yeah, this man clearly hated Kim, and he was trying to just take her down. He was jumping to whoever else hated Kim. He was lining up with them to get bagging. It's foolish that some of them took the bait. I don't know. As of April 2024, Kim was reportedly dating Tay Brown, a rapper on her record label, and he was pretty young. He was pretty young, so she got a lot of backlash for that, because I believe she was like 49. She was 49 dating this, 21-year-old or 22, for God's name, boy. But since then, we don't know who she is currently dating right now. It's been kind of low-key, right? But let's move on and talk about some of the beef. So let's wrap it up with that, right? Let's talk about Foxy Brown. Once upon a time, Lil Kim and Foxy Brown were high school friends, but their paths took a wild turn as they climbed the ranks of hip-hop royalty, eventually becoming rivals, Kim with Junior Mafia and Foxy with The Firm. Their camaraderie began to crumble in 1995 when they teamed up with The Brat for the remix of No One Else, but by the following year, things took a dark and scandalous twist. Both rappers were set to drop their debut albums just a week apart in November 1996, and that's when the drama ignited. Media outlets began pointing fingers at the striking similarities between the album covers of Kim's Hardcore and Foxy's Il Nana, which featured both ladies rocking the same bold outfit. Tensions escalated, leading to the cancellation of their long-anticipated collaborative album, Thelma and Louise. Foxy later claimed their friendship fell apart due to the influence of their entourages, but it seemed like jealousy was lurking in the shadows. The first attempt at reconciliation came came in 1998 when Lil Kim reached out after Foxy and her mother had a terrifying experience being held, with a pew-pew during a home invasion. But the peace didn't last long. In January 1999, Foxy dropped the track My Life on her sophomore album China Doll, which critics viewed as an emotional plea to restore their friendship. However, the album soon took a nasty turn, with Brown throwing shade at Mistresses, which many assumed was aimed squarely at Kim. As if the rivalry wasn't spicy enough, by February 1999, some critics claimed Foxy was mimicking Kim's style, raising eyebrows in the hip-hop community. Later that year, Lil C's release Play Around featuring Kim and Diddy, where Diddy made a pointed jab at Foxy, rapping, "Stop trying to sound like her too," igniting a firestorm of controversy. Not one to back down, Foxy fired back with her own track, Bang Bang. She took shots at Lil Kim, even mocking Kim's emotional grief over the death of Notorious BIG by saying, "Let that ninja Biggie rest in peace," and hop off his B-word. My goodness. The tension between the two was at an all-time high. Then came the shocking incident on February 26, 2001, when Lil Kim was leaving Hot 97 and, when the pew-pews were fired 20 times, all of that. It was both of their entourages against each other, and Kim just happened to be there. So things really was like, okay, it's not just entertainment. These people are for real. Do you see why people are like, yeah, okay. The bullet-riddled chaos shook Foxy up enough that she tried to reach out to Kim for peace. But Kim was not having it. She expressed a desire to end the feud, even suggesting a collaboration. But Kim, who has severed ties with Diddy and Bad Boy because Diddy didn't even visit her in jail, Diddy left her out to dry. Diddy was doing people dirty since the beginning. So Kim was like, yeah, I'm done with you. And she wasn't interested in a truce at all with Foxy Brown. And she was like, you went too far with the Biggie line. And this whole thing went too far. I got to go to jail for this. Girl, don't ever speak on me again.
One fight, and two top R&B artists are caught in the middle, Foxy Brown and Lil Kim. Guest correspondent AJ Hammer has our extra exclusive.
They're reigning pop star divas, Lil Kim, known for her fairly there outfits, Foxy Brown for her no-nonsense lyrics. Now, what began as a war of words has escalated to a hail of bullets.
I just don't think somebody should get killed before people realize that a change has to happen.
It was outside New York City radio station Hot 97 last week. Police say it was Lil Kim's posse versus friends of Foxy Brown. 5 guns in all, 21 shots fired, and 1 man shot in the back. Now, Foxy wants to set the record straight.
I had nothing to do with the shooting.
But the hip-hop diva did fire shots in the war of words that preceded the madness. Rap lyrics pointed squarely at Lil Kim.
The album pushed that. When it hit the street, it's still found lane. My name's still Brave.
Isn't this kind of like throwing fuel on the fire?
After 2 or 3 years of just being verbally attacked, I felt like I owed it to my fans.
Foxy says Lil Kim pointed similar lyrics at her first. Now Foxy Brown, who was working on her new album at the time of the shooting, has invited Lil Kim and her crew to make peace.
We just want to stop it. We just want to say, look, let's put an end to it. Thank you.
Well, so far, Lil Kim isn't commenting on the case, and the shooting victim in the case was treated and released from a New York hospital.
In her final remarks on their feud, Foxy admitted, "Kim is the only female artist that keeps me on my toes. She's the only one I look at," end quote. But after Kim's release from prison, she completely ignored Foxy's existence, while Foxy continued to take jabs at her in music and in performances. Foxy, no lie, looked for every little reason to provoke Kim. Even decades later, she wished Kim baby father a happy birthday. Talk about too far, right? And he replied with "Daddy loves you," insinuating that the two were now dating. Mr. Papers, we talking about Mr. Papers, just to get under Kim's skin. I don't know, that's kind of crazy to me. She also became besties with Nicki Minaj, because of their mutual hate for Kim. She always throws jabs on her Instagram stories and slick comments on Kim's new looks. Every time she has plastic surgery or something, her and Nicki would kind of make fun of that. But Kim has literally not acknowledged her, no matter what she does to get Kim's attention. And I think that drives Foxy to do even more. It kind of drives her a little crazy a little bit, Fast forward to May 17, 2012, when Lil Kim appeared on The Breakfast Club. When asked about Foxy, she coldly replied, and I quote, "I don't even know her. And when I say that, I don't know who she is these days. I wouldn't even know what her voice sounds like," end quote. Yikes. Now let's talk about Nicki Minaj. So Lil Kim has been locked in a feud with Nicki Minaj ever since Nicki Minaj skyrocketed to fame with her album Pink Friday. The tension began to bubble when both Kim and critics noticed striking similarities in Nicki's style, her Sucker Free mixtape, right? And now fast forward, everybody's like, okay, yeah, even Nicki Minaj kind of like, yeah, I was inspired by her. We all take from each other. What's the issue? And I'm going to compile all these clips together to show you guys after, kind of explaining the beef for you guys. But Nicki did come out and speak and was like, she don't know why she's so upset, because we all take from each other's styles. But then again, Nicki Minaj is always calling out the newer girls for stealing her style, rapping like her or dressing like her. So the same issue that quote unquote Lil Kim had with Nicki has been having with everybody else. And can you now see why maybe Kim had an issue with it, right? So, or not giving props for the style, right? Kim didn't hold back, accusing Minaj of jacking her look and declaring, if you're stealing my swag, you better be ready to pay up. It's a give and take, baby. You help me, I help you. That's how this industry works, end quote. When Nicki dropped her single, Roman's Revenge, featuring Eminem, many believed it was her response to Kim's allegations. Although Nicki vehemently denied it at the time, in an interview on the Angie Martinez show, she took a sharp jab at Kim, saying, she's been in fights with Foxy, Eve, Remy, now it's my turn. Every time you make headlines is because you're coming for someone. Where's your music? Put something out. And when I see you on the Billboard charts, then maybe I'll respond. Until then, goodbye. It's just funny. The roles have reversed so crazy. But Kim always told Minaj that the tables would turn. And it has, because no one has been in more public beefs than Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has been in beefs with half the industry, right? I know barbs are watching, even though it's a Lil Kim video. Y'all watching the hate. So I know y'all gonna be in the comments trying to, that's not true. People start, Nicki don't come for nobody unless somebody come for her. I know y'all gonna say that because how the barbs will be. Nicki don't start with nobody. Nicki can do no wrong in the barbs' eyes, right? She could take a little baby and throw the baby off a building, a 10-story building, and splash out of cold evil blood. They still would be like, well, the baby did something to deserve it. Not all barbs, but y'all know some of y'all barbs. The feud reignited in a major way when Lil Kim released her mixtape Black Friday, which was practically a letter to their rivalry. After Nicki released her second album, Pink Friday Roman Reloaded, critics speculated that her track Stupid HOE included shots fired at Lil Kim. Kim later suggested in an interview with Power 105's Breakfast Club that the song Automatic from Nicki's album bore eerie similarities to her own unreleased material. She didn't hold back, labeling Minaj obnoxious and catty. And in an interview with Genius, Nicki seemed to confirm that Roman's Revenge was indeed about her beef with Kim, saying, someone came at me, a veteran came for me, and I hit back with Roman's Revenge and never looked back. Fast forward to 2021, and Lil Kim was still ready for battle, expressing on BET Awards red carpet that she'd love to face off in a versus battle with Minaj, hinting that the rivalry was far from over. The stakes were high, and fans are left wondering if these queens will ever settle their score or if the drama will continue to unfold in the spotlight.
Nothing stays the same. So I commend, Lil Kim, and I was paying homage to her, saying, I love Lil Kim, you know what I'm saying? But I think that I have what it takes to fill her shoes. I think that if anyone has the power to do it, it's Nicki Minaj. I remember I saw her on the tour with Wayne, and I had been hearing, back, in the business, people talk behind the scenes. And I remember I ran into Foxy, and Foxy said, why you keep on giving props to Kim? She don't like you. She was like, the girl be dissing you, like when in conversation. And I said, I'm so much of a diehard. I was like, until I hear her say something about me, I'm going to continue paying my respect to her in my interviews. And that's what I did. I kept on doing it. That's why everybody came out and said, Nicki always shows you love. Like, what are you talking about? So when I saw her at Wayne's concert, she performed with Keisha. She came into our dressing room. She went and used the bathroom and stuff. And I stopped her. I was like, I want to make sure everything is cool with us because I'm a fan first. Is everything good? Yeah, everything good. We good. Hugs and kisses. Can I take a picture with you? I love you. This is somebody that I looked at highly. We took a picture. Everything was good.
So I met her one time at Lil Wayne's concert, and I heard her tell the story on Hot 97, and I was laughing.
Well, it was lies, what you told Andy?
Kidding me? It didn't go down like that. Come on, she's just somebody saying to me, we good? What? I had to win her throat, snatched her larynx out. You kidding me?
So how did it go? How did it actually play out?
Well, what happened was I had to go to the bathroom because I went there to perform for Keisha Cole. I was with her. I go in the bathroom and she's in there and she's like, oh my goodness, we finally get to meet. Oh, she's like, oh my goodness, we finally. And I'm like, hi. And so she says to me.
The Fran Drescher voice is too good.
She asks me to take a picture with me. And I'm like, of course. But, I think I used the bathroom first or whatever. And I came out and I took the picture with her. And then she was like, yeah, oh my God, you are so small. You're so tiny. That's what she said, something like that. And I was glad I was smiling at her. And so I said, I tapped her and I said, we need to talk because I like you. I said it like that. You know, I like you.
That's Brooklyn.
She failed.
Brooklyn.
Exactly.
Brooklyn.
She failed to mention that, but it's cool. So I said, we need to talk because I like you. And she looked at me. She was like, is everything okay? Is everything good? Like, she was nervous. It didn't come out like everything good. You'll be good. I looked at it like they kind of used me to stamp it, like, because they knew that they were going to kind of steal my swag. Like, you know what? You know, Kim's cool with her looking like her, you know, taking her whole style.
Well, Lil Kim, but nobody else talked about, you the baddest chick that ever do it. Remember, I said that. Huh, but I'm out this bitch.
You want to be like me, but you're acting like you created this lane and, you know, this is something new, the whole party and all that shit. Like, this ain't new. It ain't new, mama. The way that the whole, you know, the creating a character is not new. And on top of all that, y'all ain't want to rock with me. It ain't got nothing to do about how long a person been in this industry or how long. I don't know what the fuck pussy Drake talking about.
You got to be careful when you pick fights. And that's what I've learned in this business. You just never know. I think people get me mistaken with like a real Barbie. They forget where I'm from. And if I have to revert back, I can and I will. So don't play with me. You know, it's one of those moments when you say, don't play with me. You know, because I respect you, I love you. I've said it in every interview, time and time again. And if that's not good enough with you, mama, then it's something deep rooted in you. You need to get something is bothering you inside. That's your insecurity bothering you. It's not Nicki Minaj. It would have been any girl that started popping. You know, she picked a fight with Foxy. Then she picked a fight with Eve. Then she picked a fight with Remy. Now it's, you know, then it was Miss Wallace. Then it was Nicki Minaj. Every time you in the news, it's because you're getting at somebody. Where's your music? You know, put your music out. And when I see your name on Billboard, that's when I'll respond to you. Other than that, goodbye. But you want to know what scares people? Success. When you don't make moves and when you don't climb up the ladder, everybody loves you because you're not competition. When you become competition, then people start, wait. Yeah, people's like, hold on. It's so true. So I felt like you're going to go down in history now as a sore loser, as opposed to going down in history as the queen. If you can't beat them, join them. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. You don't have to feel the need to put somebody down and make yourself feel better. I see people do things all the time that I think, that remind me of Nicki Minaj. But it's like, do you, honey? It's like we all take from each other. It's like nothing is new under the sun. You know, when you see Gaga, you see Madonna. But Madonna never hated on Gaga. Why in the Black communities we gotta hate on each other instead of saying, thank you for showing me love. Thank you for, you know, like keeping my name alive. You know, the same way she opened doors for me, I'm now opening doors for her. Because, do you understand what I'm saying? Because nobody was even playing your music and you damn sure couldn't get an interview to save your life. But now you getting interviews and every time you do an interview, they asking you about Nicki Minaj. So it's like, we help each other. You know, that's the point. We're helping each other. But if you are bitter, get away. Okay. She started releasing all these records, doing her vocals the way I did my vocals. The problem with her is she was very catty with it. I never had a problem with her. I was always nice with her. Always. She was a very obnoxious person, but I was always nice with her. She was always throwing shots. I don't know what you're talking about.
I never heard it.
You need, because you're not trying to.
I used to hear her pay homage, like she said. She said, I love Kim, I love Foxy.
You're not trying to do your homework. That's why. Boo-boo. You got to do your homework. If you go on all of those little, to come up even with Fendi. Fendi would even say it. Yeah, you know, because, you know, she was just a real cocky type of girl, whatever. She always wanted to be like you. She always wanted to be, and she would say, I'm going to take her spot. Okay, fine. Now, after that whole Cash Money situation with the song, we're at Justin's birthday party. Perfect timing to come up and say, hey, you know, we did the song together. But nothing. And she looked at me and rolled her eyes, and I was like, really? Every single record she's made was coming at me. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody who's smart with a brain, everybody who knows music knows damn well in that Puffy record she was coming at me. I didn't say nothing about this chick. I didn't say nothing about this chick at this time. She was coming at me in the Puffy record. She was coming at me on all these records that she was doing, the Jay and Kanye records. I didn't say nothing. So what is I don't understand what all this is.
How come when male rappers like get on records and, you know, they talk cocky and aggressive, nobody ever says, oh, it's targeted towards anybody. But when a female does it, it's either, oh, they got to be going at Kim. Or if you do it, oh, she got to be going at Nicki. Why y'all just can't be rapping?
But
Why does it have to be aimed towards somebody? Maybe it's just rap.
Males, though. What are you talking about?
That happens with males, too.
Yes, it does. It happens
Wayne
with
throws
males.
stabs
You
at
wanna know the
Jay,
difference
James
with
throws stabs
males?
at Lynn. Happens all
They're
around.
not like her. She wanted to be the only female out there. So when Baby and them said, we're not fucking with this chick because you can't stand next to her, she loved it. Because she didn't want to stand next to me. I think it's her. She wanted to be out there by herself. I'm not saying she's a horrible artist, but I definitely think she's overrated because she's not a horrible artist to me. I don't think she's a horrible artist at all. I know other artists that are... She's all right. If somebody says, I love you, but I hate you, that's not homage.
But we don't.
So what happened at the video shoot? I heard
we
that.
never had a video shoot.
So what? I heard some story that the video shoot was actually about to take place and she didn't show up.
No, that's not even close to the story. We never got a video shoot. My whole beef with it is we needed that video shoot, but their whole plot was to get me to do the record so I could stamp her and say, look, it's okay. Kim don't want this. Kim is done. Like, basically it treated me like as if I wasn't even alive anymore. And I thought that was so disrespectful. She strikes me as the type of female that if she was to be my friend, it would just be to get my swag, and once she got that, she would be. And I got a collage that I'm putting together of little shots that she was taking even back then, and you could tell she really wasn't groomed. And I felt bad for her because I'm like, damn, if she get with me, then I could let her see how, I could show her that how to kind of move in this game because she was moving wrong. But you could tell after she kind of, started, to get a little more buzz, you could tell somebody sat her down and said, listen.
Right.
And I saw her coming in the game, like, all you chicks that been in the game for 10 years, move over there. Y'all need to sit down and this and that. I thought that was disrespectful. And me and Luciana put together a little collage, a little thing that we're going to show and put out there just so people could see the history of how she came into the game and what she was doing and why this might have been offensive, not only to me, but to the other chicks that was in the industry. See, in this industry, what I've learned is you never know. You just never know. And that's what I've learned in this industry. You just don't pick fights. And you don't pick fights with Kimmy Blanco. Because I'm not taking my foot off her neck. I don't play. I'm not playing this. I'm not with that. They ain't gonna come and try to be like, oh, maybe. Nah. Damn. I would do a song with her.
You would.
For the right price.
Oh my God.
She's a hustler.
I'm a hustler. 7 million? Because that's my favorite number. 7.
But as of late, both women seem to be polite when asked about each other in the media. Minaj went on to see exactly what Kim was talking about, and that roles have reversed, with the up-and-coming artists having little to zero respect for Minaj. And she got to see that Kim wasn't really tripping. And just like these new artists, take a lesson from Kim and Minaj, Come in, if you're going to do this, come in humbly. Don't disrespect nobody. Give credit where credit is due and mind your business, because roles always reverse. You never know when you're gonna need somebody to give you a leg up. And the fact that Minaj was basically, because Nicki Minaj really turned off a lot of the OGs off at that time. They had that stage where all of the female rappers, even unproblematic Queen Latifah, which I was shocked about, was on that stage holding a funeral for Nicki Minaj. But when she said something like, to Kim, like, you needed me to revive your career, which though it may not be false, there's truth to it. It was like, dang, you wouldn't even be able to be Nicki Minaj if Kim didn't take y'all saw the backlash Kim went through, and all that, the door she opened even in the fashion to put Black female rappers even get some attention from white media and to be popular with the white fashion directors and to be in spaces that Black female rappers were not in before. It wouldn't have been possible. And to talk to someone like that, it just came out very disrespectful, very tasteless, and created a lot of enemies for Minaj in the industry. But moving on, the Eve beef that Nicki Minaj mentioned wasn't too serious in my opinion in looking into it, because Eve and Kim are now friends, and like Kim said, we'd be cuddled up, watching a movie. We'll still debate about things, but we'd be cuddled up. It wasn't too Eve. It was just like Eve said, she would be too excited when she see Kim, when she was just up and coming rapper and was like, can you be on my song? Being kind of like groupie, overexcited to see her. And Kim was just like, oh brother, probably getting that all the time from all the female rappers or whatever. And so she kind of felt some type of way, but then they made up, all of that. It's not that deep. So they both said that. The last one that I wanted to highlight was the one with Notorious. Notori Naughton portrayed the Queen Bee in the film Notorious, and Kim was not having it. In an interview with Hollywood Unlocked, I'll just show you guys what she said.
People always want to know that. I'm going to touch on this briefly because I think everybody already knows my answer to this, but I hated everything about that movie. I hated it. Wasn't involved in it. I actually had to get my lawyers involved, in which I ended up getting a check from it. it. And that was the only reason why I just, whatever. But it was greenlit. It was shot without my permission. Everybody knows this already.
But how do you greenlight something that represents somebody that's alive?
Yeah, somebody's likelihood.
How do you even pick someone? Because I'm sorry, I wasn't I was not okay with that.
No, everybody wasn't okay with that.
No, but some people were like, well, hi. I'm like,
she's a great actress, but there's no likeness. There's no. She would no.
But again, if the person is iconic and to the culture and important to us, and it's still here, you can pick up the phone and call them. And if they say no, it's no.
Yeah, I would have never picked her ever. She has nothing in common with me. Nothing. Like we have nothing in common. No, seriously, I've said it already, so I'm not going to sit here and like act like I didn't say these things or whatever. But I've said it. She has nothing in common with me, and I don't like the way she's been disrespectful about it because I wasn't even like basically blaming her, but she did like a whole documentary coming at me, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm like, okay, boo, you don't want this smoke, because at the end of the day, like I really could go there, but I've been letting her, because her thing is she wanted me to just be okay with it. But if I'm not okay with you playing me in the role, either you're gonna do it, because I can't tell you not to take a role and get your money, right? But don't say, oh, I love her and this, that, and the third, when you were like, well, I don't care what she thinks, I'm going to still do this movie. So basically, you're doing it without my stamp of approval, so you're doing it for a check, or you're doing it to come up. That's fine. But don't make it seem like I'm hating on you because I want you to do it. I don't, listen, at the end of the day, all of that talk she did on the documentary, I felt it was very disrespectful.
The documentary that Lil Kim is referring to is an episode of TV One's Uncensored. The episode was debuted in April, and it was Notori really like being kind and just like expressing what happened from her point of view.
I decided if I'm going to do Lil Kim, I'm going to murder it. I'm not going to halfway this character. So on the stage, I learned everything. I embraced the tone, the style, the swag, Brooklyn. I made sure the best way that I could. I wanted to honor her. If she got her titties out, we gonna have the titties out. If she's gonna, spread her legs Queen Bee style, I'm gonna have to spread my legs Queen Bee style. Because I thought she was so dope. And, I grew up loving like Notorious BIG, Junior Mafia. It was legendary. I would never take on a role of a real life person that is alive and well and not try to speak with them and reach out. So for the record, where they said, oh, Notori didn't even try to get in touch with Lil Kim, lies. I called, I left multiple voicemails. The director of the film, George Shillman, was like, we're going to put you guys together so you can ask questions. All I hear is, what the? They're arguing, they're yelling. It gets heated. And I was like, I hope this is not about me. But it was. So I was hoping and praying. I reached out via phone and tried that time in person. Maybe my look had something to do with it. Again, it started to replay the memories of 3LW saying like, you're not good enough, or because I was, I guess, darker than she thought the character should have been. To this day, I have nothing but love and respect for, Lil Kim. She really is, like, to me, what has spawned all the careers of Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B. We all should be looking at Lil Kim and being like, yo, they just took from that book and did it now.
But I like Notori's response because everybody knew that Kim felt like Notori was, too dark or whatever to play her. It kind of reminded her of the, old her. And I mean, let's be honest. She really just didn't want Notori. Okay, let me say allegedly. It's my opinion. It's an opinion. It's not a fact that she didn't want Notori playing her because of Notori's skin complexion. Because yes, Notori resembles younger Kim very much. You have to be blind to not see that. Look at the pictures in the beginning. The same height, little petite bodies. She stated that Notori was too dark to play her, right? And she would never choose Notori. She does have some identity issues. Social media was left scratching heads after an updated video of Lil Kim saying, I'm a Spanish girl trapped in a black girl's body surfaced, but I'm all mixed up. Yeah, she said that on video. Like, I'm a Spanish girl to heart, like all the surgeries. She's trapped in a black body. So Lil Kim don't even believe she's black anymore. She has issues with that. And she really, I don't know, it's sad to see. She does have a long history with plastic surgery. And the video is only a reminder of the struggles the rapper has had with her appearance and identity. The hardcore track No Time found her comparing herself to Ivana Trump, Zaza Gabor, which I did a video for. Demi Moore, I did a video for Demi Moore also. And the late Princess Diana of Wales, which I did a video for as well. But she was comparing herself to these women who clearly are nothing like Kim. But maybe she was talking about in terms of glamour, wealth, and stuff like that, because they don't look like you, boo. But in a 2000 interview with Newsweek, Lil Kim said, guys always cheated on me with women who are European looking, the long hair type, really beautiful woman who left me thinking, how can I compete with that? Being a regular black girl wasn't good enough. And And then Tupac called her ugly in his diss track, Hit 'Em Up, which made a lot of people clown Kim for a very long time. And even Biggie marrying Faith Evans after you've been with this woman for so long, and Faith being, you know, light skin, almost look like Lotto. They look a lot, Lotto looks a lot like Faith Evans to me. But it's just crazy to me how the media played a role in her self-esteem also, because especially when Hit 'Em Up came out, people was using that against Kim, was calling her all types of uglies for real. The way Biggie treated her was crazy, because even her sex appeal, if you watch other documentaries and interviews, it came from Biggie. Biggie wanted her to push herself as a sex icon. He wanted her to push herself as over-sensualized. She was good to be a mistress, you know, but he didn't marry her. He married Faith. Like, that could make you feel like you're not gonna, oh, is it my physical look or appeal? But there's a lot of things that go into that. I'm not a psychologist or therapist or anything, so I'm not, you know, gonna go into deep. But I do know from being from the hood myself and, you know, around the way, experiencing a lot, talking to a lot of, you know, other girls that are now adults, that we came from the same neighborhood. The issue is that when you were a street girl, like you were in the streets, you was selling, you was, you know, dating the, you know, the dealers and stuff. Gotta watch my words for YouTube. And you had that tough fighting rah-rah persona. And that's what you lead with a relationship. Like, you get in a relationship with those type of dudes. You see the type of dude that wanted to propose to her was the dude that was already going to jail. He was in jail and then proposed to her and all of that, whatever. This is what your options tend to be a lot of the time, right? There'll be men like Biggie that take advantage of you, not value you. And those same hood men that you try to be a down chick for, and you try to hold down, and you know, oh, I'm going to sound so old, like an old auntie. But hey, I'm old enough to be half of y'all aunties watching. Trust me, I'm seasoned, okay? But you giving it up, you trying to be down, you trying to be cool. And I'm telling you, I was in the hood. I seen this one too many times. You know, when those men get up, they level up, they make a little money, they get up out the hood, or they make it big, or become even a kingpin, okay? They become the head honcho, selling the most dope in the community and got a little money. They gonna leave the roundaway girl and go find a nice little church girl. That's who they want to marry. A nice little wholesome church girl, never get in trouble. That it wasn't that Kim didn't have the look, because Kim had the looks. She had the aesthetics. She was gorgeous, you know, especially in the 90s when she met Biggie. She's gorgeous. So she had the looks. To me, she a lot of women in that era couldn't hold a candle to Kim, right? So it's not that she didn't have the look, but I think it's the persona of being that kind of girl that would make a lot of these men not really want to, the ones that she wanted to wife her wouldn't. They would go look for someone more wholesome with that image, someone that, you know, there's those that if they do come and date these type of women, typically around the way, street girls or whatever, it's usually men that are less than, I don't know a nicer way to say that, but men that really don't have much going on for themselves, bottom of the barrel, ain't got no money, no options, nothing going on with their life, and they need a place to stay. They need you to fund their lifestyle. Like, even her dating that young man on her label, the power dynamics there is crazy. You're way older than him. He's on your label. Like, Mr. Papers was a clout chaser. Now you have a baby by him and other stuff. And I know it can sound overcritical, but again, I do want you guys to get some lessons from these documentaries and not just, you know, purely entertainment. I'm not BBC or whatever, you know, so I do have opinions and stuff, and I do want to give a little words of encouragement for that. When you are listening to these music, these forms of entertainment, and you starting to see the glamour of this, understand that these women typically have a lot of self-esteem. You promoting that over sensualized demeanor and calling it empowering and taking your power back and all of that, you promote that, but then there's a lot, like Wendy Williams say. I know people have their issues with Wendy. Don't worry, I'm going to do a video on Wendy Williams too, but I'm waiting for a lot of things to settle with her, okay? But like Wendy was trying to tell her, there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot that comes with these portrayals, and even some of your favorite stars now. You might not see it now because they look like they're on the top, but give it till they're like in their 50s, their 60s. You're going to see. You're going to see it just typically never ends well when you promote this life and live it. You know, you're living this life. Even some of your favorite rappers now that are a little bit older, if you're fans with them, look at who they married. Look at the lifestyle how old they are now and still the lifestyles they're pushing and promoting. And these people are just not happy, whether it's they're in substances or they just never really find the love that they need or the self-esteem or the healing. It's just we have to be mindful of that. And when our elders or people that are older than us is trying to tell us, hey, maybe this route, it's fun, it's glamorous for the time being, but there's consequences where you're going to hate yourself so much that you don't even identify as Black. And that's because men made you feel like you weren't worthy this whole time. Whereas a lot of these men married, their wives are Black. Like, who is it? Method Man. And a lot of these men, they'll marry the wholesome. Are they faithful? That's another thing. But that just comes with being in the industry, right? That comes with being in the industry. It's not something to hope for. That's my 2 cents on it. I know that's going to be a little controversial, like Kareen or whatever, but hey, you know, at the end of the day, I think Lil Kim is still, she has a beautiful spirit. I could see her spirit through all of the personas because she was willing to go to jail for people that didn't even stick by her side. That's why she dumped Diddy and all of them around, because they just left her to, you know, deal with everything herself. And, you know, she was always looking for that father figure, that love, that comfort, just people to be loyal to her. I think it is terrible how the industry will uplift you and celebrate you 1 minute, and then as soon as the new, young, fresh person comes out, like a Nicki Minaj, everybody turned against her. They were gaslighting her, Charlamagne to God, that whole interview, until now Charlamagne is turning against Nicki. It's crazy to me, right? But that's just how it is sometimes. And the disrespect starts coming in where they talk about her looks. And a lot of the plastic surgery, I believe it did start with the violence, you know, with the ex-boyfriend that's in jail now. But it did start with that, broken noses and stuff, getting it reconstructed. I do believe that a lot of it does come from that. But also I do believe that, yeah, the skin bleaching, that ain't come from that. The hair, all of those things, that didn't come from just the DV. It came from, you know, Lil Kim actually really feeling insecure that I'm not being chosen over certain women, but it's the caliber of men that you're dating. Because sis, let me tell you right now, you know, I'm not trying to politicize anything or do anything, but you are exotic. Just like these men want exotic women, there's a lot of white man, Asian man, European men also that want Black women. You're exotic to them. They're not checking for that. If you want to just be chosen like that and you want to be seen as special, leave your options open. That's all I'm going to say. Is it, you know, if you got the money, you're in an industry too, look at the options that you were going after. Ex-criminals, ex-this, ex-that. Like, expand your horizons. And there are some educated brothers out there that love, you know, melanated women. So don't, it's all about your options, where you are, but it's not a reason to change yourself. Love yourself, accept yourself. And I pray that she does take a pause, because honestly, her face does change every time we see her. And it's sad to see like people with beautiful spirits, what the cruel world and the cruel industry will do to them, especially this hyper-sensualized. Biggie wanted her to push that out because, hey, it was making him bread. It was making him money. And that's the image he wanted to put of Kim, and Kim, you know, went on with it. Would she have wanted to be objectified, or could she probably wanted to show off her skills without objectifying herself? Probably. But will we ever know? Probably not. This is all I have for this video. Comment below who else would you guys like to see. I know this one was a long one, but y'all have been requesting Lil Kim for a minute, and I typically don't like to do, because I feel like, hey, she might have a tell-all book. I know she said she was going to write one in 2025 this year, and more that may come out. So I don't like to just do these stars like that still have like decades left to their careers. But if ever we'll do an update, we'll do an update on Lil Kim. If more like comes out, well, we'll just add to this. But yeah, this is a video. Comment below who else would you guys like to see. Check out my Queen Latifah video if you haven't seen, and a couple that I mentioned, my Whitney Houston video, because let's talk about Ray J. If you like the music you're listening to, the link is in the description. I will see you guys in the next one.